remember Jordan Peele called me after his first edit, and he was like, "All right, man, look, know your price, cause you about to get all the offers after this." I'm like, all right. And but it happened like that. I had to audition since Get Out.
That's dope as hell.
And all offers only. Like I was talking to one of my homies the other night. He's like, "Yeah, man, I had to put myself on tape today, man. You know how that is." I'm like, no.
Nah, I don't know. Special guest coming in today, my dog Lil Rel. What's going on?
What up? What up?
I'm gonna give y'all some backstory. Very humble, great conversation. Always kept an open dialogue, told me if I need anything. So to ask to come to the podcast and you say yes, I appreciate you standing up on your word, my dog.
You know what I love about you though is that like Chicago don't leave us no matter where.
Yeah.
I forgot what award. We was at the People's Choice Awards.
Yeah.
It was just like, "What up, fam?"
Yeah. It get lit. People be like, "Y'all know each other, man." She is. I don't know. You just start feeling closer to home. I do. Like to see you in that Bulls hat. Like me and bro, he'll tell you we sat up there, way up there, bro, in the 300 section, back touching the wall. That was our seats, Joe. We know what it's like to rep that Bulls
we had the
hat.
YMCA seats.
For real, we had Bulls everything. I used to wear snap-off pants to the game. Real talk. Snap the pants off like I'm finna get in the game. Real talk. The Bull, iron-on Bull falling off the shorts.
I'm a crazy Bulls fan. So I'm in Atlanta shooting this movie.
Yeah.
And the Bulls play the Hawks, you know.
Of course.
This is why I buy my own tickets too. I don't take the free tickets because if you do, sometimes
you're gonna be on the Hawk side.
You wear your gear and all this other stuff. So like I buy my own tickets. And that happened because after the Knicks owner, man, he was so strict about it. Like
he was
the Bulls
hurt.
Play the Knicks. He'd be like, "Dude, you can't wear red. You can't wear no Bulls." Like he was dead. I thought he was joking at first until because he gave me the tickets. I had to take my jacket off. I'm like, "Dang, for real?"
Word?
I'm not even lying, bro. Like, he had to take my jacket off.
I feel him though. It's
you
like,
think that's okay?
But I'm just saying, if the Bulls was giving tickets to Moggs, don't let them wear their colors. They gotta wear black and red if they ain't 90 center.
But that's why I buy my tickets. I buy my tickets. But the Bulls had lost because trades went crazy.
Of course.
And I didn't realize the Jumbotron was on me looking set. Like they all, the Hawks fans.
You got a screenshot?
It's just me like this, like.
If you got a screenshot, send it in, dog.
Every Bulls fan out there, they know the hurt, like
we feel that
deep pain when we lose.
The mascot tried to give me a T-shirt, and I slapped it out of his hand.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's the
little Hawks joint, the free joint.
Yeah, they tried to give me the little T-shirt. I was like, they kept harassing me because they threw out. Because I was talking hella crazy.
Right. You was a fan. He was a fan. Chicagoan. Yeah, you got to leave hot. He left hot. That's what he was supposed to do. He left hot.
They did what they supposed to. That's cool. So we gonna kick it off, man. We just wanted to really get you in here. We gonna talk about a little bit of everything, but I think to the core what we gonna get at is they wanted to theme this around 10,000 hours, man. We want to talk about the work that gets put in. I think so many people these days, I've had people come up to me and say, man, I've been hooping. I go to the gym. I do this. I do that. And how you get to the NBA? And I'm like, bro, that journey started at 4 years old for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I told myself then, before everybody else believed it, this is what I want to do. In the field of acting, in the world of being comedic, when do you say, now's the time, I'm about to take this serious? How much work gets put in and how much of it is just having it?
Well, you said something that's very important. And honestly, what I tell a lot of young people was, like, I started seeing it really early. Like this started when, so two things. In my brain, it probably was like when I was about 8 or 9. But at some point when people, you're at school and the teachers ask you what you see, what you want to do to grow up and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I
was already writing down being on Living Color or SNL. I was writing that down. So, because I already knew, I've known I always wanted to do this. I fell in love with stand-up and sketch comedy first. it was weird because even like I kind of like faked my family out because I went to like Harold Washington College. I knew I didn't want to go to college for real.
Shout out to the Chicago City colleges.
But yeah, I knew I wanted to do it really early. I had to figure out where to start. Now the crazy thing is in the Chicago Sun-Times, every weekend they got a weekend plus. Every Friday they have like this extra like little newspaper magazine that would give the list of theater shows, the comedy clubs. So I started listing all the comedy clubs from the newspaper.
That you wanted to work at.
That I wanted to see if I can go in there. I still wasn't old enough because a lot of the places was 21 and up. But I actually snuck in one night, 18. This is how you do it. I mean, I don't want to tell young people to do that, but I got there really early and helped them set up. Yeah. So they didn't even know I didn't belong in there. I was older. They thought I worked there.
Wow. And you just slid and you just slid in. Oh my
so God. Wait a minute, you got the job or you just walked in and gave yourself
I just walked in because it was already like comedy clubs, if you think about it, like it's not a strict thing about anything. So if you help in setting up chairs, they're assuming that you work there.
Yeah. Because they just got so many people coming in and out, they not really.
Well, nobody come that early neither. Like I came like early. You know what I'm saying?
He was just extra help. And they was just like, fuck it, let him go.
It was crazy to me is the way he's saying it, like literally because people be needing help setting up. They need help cleaning. People always need help. Like anybody that's willing to get their hands dirty, if you want it bad enough, literally show up early and ask for a job. Like you can tell. I just wanted to say that because you was like, I don't want to tell kids to sneak in, but it's like no bullshit. You want to get in the door, get your hands dirty.
Yeah. But this thing about it, I had to do that a couple times. That was like when I first started. But the other time was I actually got paid for it. Deray used to have a night at Riddle's Comedy Club in Chicago. And it was funny, back in that time, to even get on his show, you had to get a card from him. You had to call a number to get on the list. It was like a whole process.
Yeah.
And I remember walking up to him. You know, Deray was doing Deray. He got like two bad chicks with him just chilling. And I remember him looking irritated at me because I'm like, Mr. Deray, hi. And he just looking at me like, fam, you don't see what I'm doing? You know?
Yeah, right. I got something going right now. I got my spot up.
But I didn't care. I was like, when I was that age, I was just young and annoying. I didn't care.
Yeah.
And so he gave me his card, like, call this number, blah, blah, blah. I did. And he gave me a guest spot. Back then, he used to do 2 shows. And the first show used to be like at 7:30, 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. And they used to use that show for like the newer guys. Like if he wasn't sure if he was going to do well. The second show was like the hood. All the dealers, everybody. He's like, yo, you got to be ready for the second show. Yeah. So I got to see you first. So I did the first show. I had a good set. But he was still like, all right, I mean, you ain't ready yet, but I can see it. But I'm like, damn, how do I get a chance to go up at this spot every week? Because it was cracking. It was just dope. And so what I started doing was I started helping seating people. He's like, look, I give you stage time every week. You get 5 minutes every week. Just help seat. Because it was always sold out. So I became a seater. And I remember other comedians was giving me kind of hell about it. Like, man, why you seating, man? That's like weird. People gonna see you seating and you gonna go up and think you ain't doing something. But what they didn't realize, the secret to the sauce was I saw everybody that was coming in.
Yeah.
So I knew who the audience was.
Yeah.
So you knew,
and you got little moments to be personable with them and all that.
Exactly. And so like by the time I got up there, it was
warm to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, so you kind of look.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. He found.
But did Deray did that with that intent?
I don't know. I mean, look, Deray, because what happened was he ended up like taking me and 2 other comedians under his wing. Shout out to Michi and the Wildcat. And man, I used to go out to clubs when we go pass out flyers and all that stuff. Like I learned a lot from him.
That's crazy.
That's
you know what's crazy? That's like I bet I don't know if y'all was thinking about it then, but that's funny within itself. Like a nigga that's a whole comedian, but he doing the dirty work. But that's like a show before the show. If he enjoys it and like you know what I'm saying? Like if you're greeting me at the door, you getting me seated, but you just funny as hell. I'm already whatever I done did to get ready for this show. I'm already in my funny mode. Like,
that's dope. Yeah, as a fan, like from the outside looking in, it's different when you hear somebody like yourself who kind of didn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Like, Like somebody who's not gonna let the door close, who's not gonna, they're not gonna send you home. Like none of that. He gonna find a way to, have his time. Mm-hmm. So we might as well just say, fuck it, give him his time, see what he do. Because he ain't gonna stop.
There's so many other ways you can do respectable stuff without kissing ass.
Right.
I think that a lot of times people think, they over network and they doing too much. And I don't like that. Like if somebody doing that with me, I'm like, fam, you doing too much. But I've always taken a real chill approach and kind of been a fly on the wall and just see my moments and be like, all right, cool. If I see it every week, can I do this? Right. If I do it, like it was just always these little small things that included work. You know what I'm saying? And me showing my work ethic and how much I really wanted to do this. And that's also spilled into the way I do things now, to be honest with you. Everything is very work driven. I'm big on putting the work in.
Right. What's the learning curve on putting together that stand-up? Like, how did you work on really putting together a show?
Stage time, I know for me, and everybody got their own process, which is what I love about comedy too. I open for a lot of people, and so I got to see their process. Some people write everything out. Some people have like index cards on the table and switching jokes out and putting jokes in. And with me, freestyling, comedy, shouts out to Mary Lynn's who owned Jokes and Notes at Chicago. That became my United Center. And I was hosting a night every Wednesday night. And every week I would just freestyle whatever went on for my week is what I would talk about. And so eventually when I got to my first special, it literally was the best of for my night of hosting. So whatever jokes people would be like, man, you remember you talked about that? I'm like, I don't know what's funny. And it was always in here, and I actually still really do that.
So it's not like a thing where you gotta film it and know it forward and back.
Not for me, man, because I don't want to get bored with it. So if I overly repeat it, that's what what's funny. That's one of my acting things too. And some directors don't like it because they want to rehearse everything. And then if I don't give them big energy in rehearsal, they're like, my fam, I'm not gonna give you what I'm gonna give you until you say action.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get bored with the material. I want it to still come off and even sound like it's just natural. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think we already gonna do a bunch of takes. Right. So you want me to do some rehearsal and a bunch of takes, bro? No, I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Because I want to be fresh. So it's always big for me to be fresh. And with stand-up, what I love about it is if you got a great imagination, man, you can just switch up a bit. I've done bits so many different ways in different cities. Like some people are like, well, he did it this way. He did that. I changed it up depending on where my imagination go at the time.
Yeah, I kind of went through that. I got the host Dancing with the Stars. Within being in them like funny modes, I naturally would go out and I don't know, by the time I got to the stage, it wasn't as serious to me. Like the show didn't seem very serious. It felt like, let me make it personable. Like, let me not feel like this tall ass dude with this deep voice booming on the mic, delivering the lines. Like I just sort of became it. And then I just took the gist of what they wanted me to say and kind of went with it. But I started to see like, okay, in the South, it kind of goes this way. When we was up north, they was rocking with this. And now here it just don't feel like it. So I'm switching the show up. Like I know that feeling of just being like, well, I'm gonna just start talking about something that just happened backstage right now because that was funny. Like, and I would see that crowd control, that crowd response, and just sort of wing it. So that was my first time though.
That's what even hearing you say that, bro. Everybody don't know that. Like most people take a robotic version of doing that, and I always think that's it. I mean, that's what makes like you think about somebody like Steve Harvey who. We've seen him host Miss Universe to Family Feud, the Apollo, the Kings of Comedy, and he didn't change his style. And he's on like the biggest stage, and which that's really what it comes down to. I think most people either try to emulate what they think people want to see or things like that. But honestly, being yourself can get you a long way.
Real talk. And even watching, like I like watching comedians that I've seen a comedian. His show go well because he bombed his first joke, but realized to like laugh at himself in that moment. It was like a quick fail, but he was like, he used it and like turned it around. But it's like, you really have to feel for that because everything's a different demographic, a different, city. That's why I was like, that's crazy that you was seating people. Cause it's like you kind of got to see, like they ain't finna laugh at that. They might not even know what I'm talking about. Like I can't even bring that up.
But you also get to a point, and so like I always say, it's sections, right? In the beginning, you really do care what the crowd think. You're like, man, I hope they think I'm funny and this and that. And then you get the glow, right? That's what I call it, the glow. Well, you just don't even. I know I'm funny, so let me just whatever I want to talk about. Either they're gonna take this ride with me, or they not.
When did you really feel like the glow
hit?
Yeah, when it hit for real. Like when you knew
it's
you were
happened
here.
It's happened a couple of times. But one of the first times is when my roommates, Michi and Wildcat, was like, I lived with two other comedians for like 4 or 5 years, and we came up together. And I had my written jokes, but I used to tell these stories on our road trips all the time, right? They'd be in tears laughing, me talking about my mother, my father, my brothers, and family. They're like, dude, why you not doing this on stage? I'm like, anybody want to hear about my family, man? It's like, real, we're dying laughing. And then they kind of gave me one of those, I guess he's scary. Like, I don't know what it is about triggering about being from the west side of Chicago. Somebody call you scary.
Don't nobody like that.
Or a bitch.
You know what I mean? You like, I ain't scared of
Because that's what scary mean does. You a bitch. Like, I ain't no bitch.
What?
Yeah, nah.
Scared, fam.
Right.
Like, so the next show I did, I went up there and told a few of those stories, and I got the biggest laughs I've gotten. And I'm like, damn, that's it. I remember like almost standing on stage and watching the crowd laugh, and it was almost like an out-of-body experience. Like,
damn.
Okay, that's
all I had to do was talk about me and my family, the shit that I could talk about all day.
And so once the storyteller aspect of me started coming in, then like, me making the characters come to life in the story and stuff like that. Because that's true. I'm a comedy nerd, so I watch everything. And so like Eddie is somebody I'm a big fan of. The Wayans brothers, just their character work was always so fascinating to me. And then watching Eddie, you could just, even if you didn't watch Raw or watch any of his stuff, you just listen to it and the picture he's painting by doing the voices. It's just, and so that became my style of comedy, which is, to this day, I think this what makes me a really good actor is because I fell in love with character work really early and committing to it. So if I'm doing my mother on stage, which my mom passed in 2009, and I remember I had a time where I stopped doing her after she passed because I got too emotional about it. Like I'll be impersonating her so well to the point I would miss her.
Yeah.
And so while everybody's laughing, I'm like sad as fuck. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like,
you
know what I mean? So then, but then I came back to it just because I realized it was celebrating her, right? And it was like, okay, that's all good. But that's how deep I be getting into character. Like I would transform into whoever, I'm doing. And so like, it's so interesting. That glow happened there. And then I had a moment when I did Martin Lawrence's First Amendment. And I got the standing ovation in Chicago. We shot in Chicago. And Cheryl Underwood brought me back on stage and said I hate they don't be keeping stuff on when it come on TV. I'm like, why they ain't keep that part? But when she told the city, she's like, yo, this is your next Bernie Mac.
Damn.
That's stamp. That's a stamp.
That's a huge stamp.
Yeah, that's a stamp.
That's a huge fucking stamp.
No, that's an honor. Yeah.
No, it was those, I kept having those moments. And then like, and with me, everything's too translates to my faith too. Like, I just love when God blows my mind. Like every time I may think I have something figured out, or I thought I saw something dope. And then like, boom, it's like, I didn't see that coming.
Right, right.
I love what I do. I really do, man. And coming from Chicago, which is just...
It's a different funny.
It's just a different, honest humor. And it's so many people so good from there. You got to be really good. You really have to be a good comic.
You're a good comedy. You're a good comic if you get respect. If people come and they laugh hard as hell in Chicago. Chicago is one of those cities. Like you better think your show through. Like, because Chicago has that type of crowd that will stare at you like, and then after a while they get aggressive. Nah, G, that ain't funny. G, hey, G, I ain't gonna lie, G. I can get up there, G. I ain't gonna lie, I'm funny as hell. I was funny as hell in high school.
Until you do Chicago comedy, right? This is what I tell people, like, you know,
I done seen it all.
A person could heckle you, right? They started with you.
Yeah.
You roast the mess out of them. They be ready to fight you. Right.
Sure.
They literally ready to fight you.
They gonna send that up.
But then you ready for that, right? If you're used to it, I kind of know what I'm getting into, right? That's why I like the art of learning how to roast somebody.
And then diffuse it.
And diffuse it is a gift.
For sure.
And
because you could be that funny where you could roast them for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And in that last minute, bring it back to make them feel like, hey, G, it's just jokes. It's all love.
Matter of fact, you say something about yourself. That's to me the best way to go. If you roast this dude and bring it back on you.
Yeah, be like, nah, he got me nervous, y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna live after this. But I'm gone, man. That's my
it's real talk. And you know what you're getting into, right?
No, it's dope, man. I like the toughness. Like, it can't be no other way, because I always felt like that. I always felt like in Chicago, we're going to play basketball, we're going to rap, we're going to do all this, and it's going to be aggressive. It's going to be some lines crossed. It might be a fight. It might be something that happens, but do you want it bad enough? I think that's Chicago. No matter how bad some shit get, it's like all Chicago kids like make a choice like, nah, but I still want that shit.
We won't. It's something about us not backing down, and that's so crazy that you even bring that up. Like, I think about any type of entertainment. Like, if it's hooping, if it's comedy,
we're gonna attack it.
If it's an aggressive. I used to always joke about that when I see you play in D Wade and D Rose, and how many times y'all would hit the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Even with
or run into a screen, run into somebody.
It's a rawness that comes with all of us.
Patrick Beverly.
Oh, you go down the line. You know, I'm a
right.
You know, I'm like the Will Bynum out there. Like, it's just a tough.
Will, shout out to Will. Shout out to Will, bro.
Don't worry.
Shout out to Will. We used to go to the Pro-Am every summer and watch him score 50 at Will.
NBA, y'all should have did better by him. It's cool. We'll get to him in this podcast.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite high school basketball players.
That's my favorite
I've ever seen. Like,
that was Crane, right?
That was Crane.
Shout out to Crane.
What he was supposed to get his respect and shit. That was my guy. How everybody loved Dwan Wagner, and they got all these guys that was my guy.
Will the Thrill,
and still pass game. Yeah, I love that you dropped that name. I was gonna ask you something because we talking about highs. We talking about out of body experience. You spoke on an interview saying that failure sort of navigated you and helped you as being like sort of a good thing, a positive in a way. Can you speak on it?
Yeah, I mean,
elaborate on it.
You're constantly gonna lose at something. Like, loss come with stuff. That's just what it is. I think I had a sitcom on Fox, right?
Yeah.
And you know, people walk up to me like, "Man, are you okay, man?" They canceled your show. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go shoot these 2 other movies
for more money.
It's like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's literally okay if it doesn't work out. Just keep creating and keep doing your thing. Like, it don't have to stop.
Yeah.
I don't even have time to take in what's considered a failure.
Right. That's beautiful.
I'm moving on to the next. And I have so many ideas. Like, why do I have to sit on this one? This ain't it.
Get it to that point.
Well, speaking of those, what was your first like real acting role where you weren't necessarily like typecast or you weren't required to be funny or maybe you had to take it more seriously? Like, what role really made you think first?
Well, Get Out was there. I mean, as much as like people were like, oh, he was a comedic relief, but the only reason I was because the movie was so crazy.
Yeah. I remember.
So because I was just, and a lot of the stuff my character was saying was what the audience was thinking.
Real talk.
You know, so it wasn't one thing I loved about it wasn't silly. The humor came out of realness. And that's what I loved about it. I think when I remember Jordan Peele called me after his first edit and he was like, all right, man, look, know your price because you about to get all the offers after this. I'm like, all right. But it happened like that. I had to audition since Get Out.
That's dope as hell.
All offers only. Like I was talking to one of my homies the other night. He's like, "Yeah, man, I had to put myself on tape today, man. You know how that is. I'm like,
Nah, I don't know. I ain't sit one in
right,
in a
I ain't
minute,
trying
brother.
out no more, man. Like, you're right. They called me.
JP done got me straight, nigga.
nah, sorry, brother. I just gonna have some lunch. And then
Right.
That's a no for me, dog.
With that said, also, Rel, did you always want to, like, you know, be on the big screen, like to act on, you know, big movies and big TV shows, or did you kind of want to stay low key and, you know, relevant, so to speak?
Eddie Murphy is who I looked up to. So this is the thing about Eddie. Eddie, for me, created a monster where I thought if you did stand up, that you had to act, you had to be in movies, you had to be a TV show. I thought because that's what he did, and then like what Keenan did and Robert Townsend, I thought because I saw them doing all that stuff, that's what you was
supposed
to. You were supposed to do that, right? I didn't realize you just only do one thing. So like, you know, it was a dream. It was, you know, I was telling somebody this one day. I'm like, dang, it's crazy how this started out just as a dream at first. Like that's all it is. It's not realistic. It's literally just your brain.
People have no
imagining.
clue.
You just imagine it. It's
they
just
have
imagination.
No clue at that. With the
you don't know.
difference.
You don't know how to do it. You don't know how to get to it. It's just literally just a dream. And then the day, and I remember having a moment in quarantine where I was like watching TV. I had like commercials on and one of my movies, and it was so much. I was like, damn, I'm on here a lot. And I had a moment where like little kid me was like, oh shit, you made it inside the screen. Yeah. You're actually in it. We're not picturing this no more.
It's here.
It's what it is.
It's here.
Cool.
Shout out to that.
Wow. And I feel like that for my friends too. Like not just for me. Like Tiffany Haddish is one of my best friends. And I remember watching her. This is not even when it was on the screen yet. When she walked in, when she did Girls Trip and she walked into the auditorium with Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett. And Hannibal was with me too, Hannibal Buress. We went to just support her. And we were just blown away, like, yo, she about to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Like, it was just her just walking in with them and holding her own. I'm like, yo, what are we witnessing?
Right. A moment.
When you see stuff like that, like budding comics, and do you get kind of like anxious in a way where it's like, is this new competition or is this somebody I'm going to have to, you know?
Nah, I don't feel like that at all, actually. Like, you know what's funny? I get the opposite. So when I see something like that happening for my friends, like, because I remember when I wasn't in none of the movie trailers or nothing yet.
Right.
And a couple of the homies was. I'm seeing them in trailers, and I knew I was close. That's what that did for me. Even with Kanye, when Through the Wire came out, the album, and they did The Big Short, The House of Blues, I was there with my CD. But I was looking at him like, okay, if he here, I could definitely get here then, right? So I would get excited about like getting it. Right, like now I look at like comics is like look like Kevin Hart, man, he's like making over $100 million and things like that. It's like cool. All right, next year. That's my I need that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Sure. I see it. It's motivation. I see
it's motivation, man.
It's crazy because I don't know. I guess sports is just the other side of the shit.
That's what I'm thinking of it as. Like
motherfuckers, I be trying to like, I have a good vibe of like everybody go get paid. That's cool and everything. But I got a very cutthroat thing about in basketball. It's like, especially when it's in your position, like you hear somebody got that bread. It's like, boy, I can't wait to see when we play them. We play them on the 17th. Shorty. But I'm saying, what if there's only one spot for a comedic relief? It's you and Tiff. Hold on. It's you and Tiff. One comedic relief on the show. There's only gonna be one opportunity for this. You tell you gonna be happy as hell if she get it and you go home. You ain't gonna be salty.
But here we go. We at the greatness point now, right? So I don't compete with nobody. Everybody do whatever they gonna do.
Oh, they either pick you or they don't.
Now, in the beginning, it is that, right? Because, you know, when you do a show like Bill Bellamy's Who Got Jokes, that's a competition show. When I beat Leon Rogers on my episode, that was a big deal to me. And that was a goal. You know what I mean? Like, when I was a younger comic, I wanted to outdo all of them.
You saying I graduated from that?
I graduated from that.
Oh, my bad. My bad for trying to take you back into that. I just tried to stop
seeing it.
Now it's levels to it. Now I am in a place now in my life where like.
Let me know if you want to start any type of like. I'll get you on the stage with anybody to spar for jokes, bro.
It's not even.
Like, first one slap my hand, I'm gonna slap the other one. Y'all fight.
But here we go. It's bigger than that now. Like now, because I've done so much now, I don't have to keep putting myself below my heroes.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what if you start doing what they did?
Yeah. No, that's
you know what I'm saying? So it's like now for me, I am striving to start being talked about being one of the best to ever do this. Yeah. I think about that a lot. And so that's where I'm at. And I don't know if it's competitive. It's just I just want to get on that next plateau with the rest of the cats I look up to. Sammy Davis Jr., right, used to do everything. It was a time the brother did stand-up, he tap dance, he could sing, he could act. You remember you used to know how to do like 6 or 7 things.
Right. Be on TV.
Everybody had to do everything. Like, I don't care who you were. O.J. Simpson was in movies. And doing all this. Like, you had to do everything.
Running from the hurt.
Why they trying to Bruce Lee?
Right.
Hey, man, I just want y'all to know, man, that my tag was that I wasn't focused because I was trying to do a couple of things. Niggas said I wasn't focused.
Dancing with the Stars.
Right. They said I wasn't focused, though. People say it's an issue with my focus. I've never had an issue with my focus, bro. I just felt I'm the same way as you. Like, I just felt like I'm supposed to compete at everything. Like, it's y'all fucking fault, nigga. Him, Paca, and Kasani. It's they fucking fault. And Dad and Mom, it's y'all fault. Y'all was in the house with me. We competed and everything. Then I get out here in this world and they like pick one thing and focus on it and stay in school. I'm like, bro, cool.
Was that a God voice?
And then
that was God talking to you?
I don't know. That was
pick a thing, focus on it, stay in school.
No, that's the man. That's the man with a shadow over me.
Well, Iman, you gotta look at it like this too. That's not the worst advice. I do believe if you pick the one thing that kicks off your purpose, it'll open the doors for whatever else you want to do.
That's not the issue though. The issue is you can't tell a kid that's working his ass off to play tennis and he becomes the best tennis player. At some point, he's got to rest his tennis playing ass body, right? Yeah. If now he picks up a video game, his drive ain't going to turn off. Now he got to become the best, even though that's his pastime. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people will say, you're putting too much time into that. You should be putting more time. It'd be like, nigga, y'all ain't finna keep doing that every time I get good at something. Whatever the fuck I pick up to be interested in it, if I'm a kid, I'm interested, and we do 10,000 hours, I gotta be good at it.
But Iman, you know what's crazy though? Like even when people probably say your focus was off, like probably playing, when you did Dancing with the Stars, it proved the fuck, because that's a focus on, you know, you was fucking look, catch a human being, you threw up in the head.
Right.
You know,
that's the thing. and footwork.
That's the thing about that. That's what I was telling people. People was like, gee, how you do that? I'm like, bro, literally, my whole life has been about footwork. Like, basketball is footwork. I'm like
house music.
Dancing, house music, footwork. Like, that's all what I'm used to. Like, you had to be good at that. Yeah, like, I don't know. So when it came time to do it, Danny, like, why you always looking down? Because I'm like, you know, that's how I learn, you know, whatever. But she was like, you would stare and then you could do it. So she was like, I just started letting him do it. Like, let him stare and then play the music and he could figure it out. Because I was like, gee, it's nothing but footwork. If I could remember what to do with my feet. After a while, I was calling him like, like if the dance move looked like a basketball move, I would tell her what it is. Like, okay, 1 and 2 and Euro, step and slide, finish. Like, and that's how I would remember. Like, now I'm doing bad. That's how I would remember Dancing with the Stars, man. Like, it's not that hard.
That's considered focus. I think, you know what's crazy? Every time somebody try to point out your weakness, they get exposed to what they thought was a weak thing, which wasn't true. That's what you thought.
Yeah, you know that's what's crazy. I'm like, gee, what's wrong with that? I feel like that's cool. Is it fair to say mastering different crafts helps you on a head start to other ventures?
Yeah, I think.
I know you was getting ready to say that earlier when I was trying.
No, but it is that, and I think as you do this, you learn about more things. So, like, I want to direct now. I have my own production company. Like, as I started learning,
wait a minute, you just throwing that out there?
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, okay. No, I just making sure if it's gonna be a drop, making it drop. You gotta just threw that out there, like
drop.
I want my own production coming. Like, does that mean that's coming?
Like I've had it for a couple. I'm like,
oh, you got one.
Oh, yeah. It's there. It's there. Okay,
that's your drop off. Right. It is what it is. What's the production company called, man?
Yeah.
I might need some shot. What's up?
No, real talk. I got me and my kids own it.
Oh shit, that's
dope.
But it's but it's one of those things I saw, and I'm a nerd, and I love being a nerd because I'm constantly want to learn everything.
Yeah.
When I saw that Nas made like his daughter the executive producer on a couple of his albums, I thought that was brilliant. And I'm like, damn. So there are even deals I make with these specials. I went with HBO because they let me give my kids consultant producer credits. Oh. And I was to argue with the other places that wanted to give me a deal. They're like, well, I don't want to do it here then.
Yeah.
So it's all those little things you learn, but like watching like a Steven Spielberg documentary, which is one of my favorite documentaries, and just how focused this brother was with all these other great directors. They were all friends in the 70s. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And that was very similar to what you went through too, huh?
Man, it's the same thing with me. I was just out in New York to support my boy Gerard Carmichael, who just hosted SNL. And we were all at dinner afterwards and just so proud of me and the cats I came up with. And like, damn, bro, we went from getting these little $10 diner meals and we get a real steak, huh?
Right.
You touched on being able to put on with your kids and put them in positions where they have producer credits. On this show, we, both fathers, we love the dad talk. We love a good table dad talk.
And an inclusion on the kids and your finances.
Real talk.
That's amazing.
How would you say being a father helped you with your career and just your work ethic, period? Has it driven you? Has it drawn any confusion at times of when to take a job? Like, what is it? I want the ins and outs of what it do to.
Well, that's a great question too. And I think the thing I love about this business, I mean, if you negotiate smart enough, like, cause I have my kids for the summer. So I'm divorced. So my babies come with me every summer.
Yeah.
And so what I started doing was letting the production, like for instance, when I did Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, that was a dad set. He had his daughters on set. Our director, Sean, had his daughter in the movie. His kid. So the kids was just there chilling. They treated them really well. They let them be a part of things. They was giving them scripts to read and they had their little headsets. and so it was just a beautiful set of dads, man. I don't know if I ever did anything that had it was literally a dad set. And it was like all this stuff around. So the kids got a chance to see all these cool cars and all these different. And I love that too. I love them seeing me work. And it actually made me respect Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy even more, man. Like, I respect the fact they wasn't annoyed when I say, hey, I have my kids for the summers and that's important to me and they're going to be here and this is what I need. And nobody had a problem with that.
They was probably like, perfect. They gonna let the kids raise themselves. That's what, hey, my wife taught me how to appreciate that. Like, everybody bring your kids. Like, my wife be like, yeah, she be like, if I say, oh yeah, my boy, we probably gonna have him come by the barbecue, whatever. She be like, yeah, he got kids. Be like, yeah, tell him bring them. Like, bring the kids. Let all the kids go hang out, have a good time. Go over there. That's the only time we could chill. Like,
run themselves.
Yeah,
rampant.
they run themselves rampant. They be on the floor asleep by 9:30, 10.
Yeah, what time would they sleep on set?
Most of the time, like I would have my assistant like take them back if we went too late. But for the most part, they're just chilling in the trailer.
They knock out in there.
But also too, like, they're fascinated by this, so they will always be kind of
engaged.
Like they very engaged. Like, my son has done a couple movies with me now.
Word? What movies?
Yeah. So we did a movie. He was Uncle Drew. He played Little Me.
Okay.
And then he did my sitcom. He did the Carmichael show. He did a.
Oh, he active.
Yeah,
he an actor.
Yeah,
he's an actor. My man,
brother working.
My man not in a couple movies with you. That man act.
Yeah, that man. He's
in the Disney cartoon. That comes out in a couple months that I started, and he's in there too. And he killed. That was his
man. What's the man's name, man? Give me his name.
Judah Howery, Mr. Judah.
Judah Howery.
He's really funny. He's insanely professional. He's way more professional than me. Like, it was at a point. I mean, we was like 5 minutes late on set. He's like, Dad, we're gonna be late. They're gonna. It's my show. Like, but he was like, it's not. He was
I
so
love
mad
it, though.
about
Yeah.
it.
No,
And you got, but you got to respect it. That's him.
Yeah.
No, I respect. I love that about him, and like that's what I'm saying. Like they
Never
love
change.
this, but that makes me happy too. A lot of times when I look off set and I see them sitting in their chairs and they're just smiling at me, that just
It's a boost of energy.
Oh man,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Do you think that fame and that, you know, like do you think that changes things or like changes the perception of how you want to be looked at, like as an actor?
it can. I mean, look, I like all this stuff comes with a lot, and so the best thing you do is figure out what your bubble is, right? And then you talking about like I'm divorced. I got 3 kids, 2 with my ex-wife, 1 with Harlem's mom. And it's just I had to create my own world with them and make sure communication is great. And that comes with maturity because you'll get a lot of outside resources, especially if you're in a public eye. But I think I've done a good job of just us really focusing on the children. Yeah. And so I care more about their experience with it, right? I always ask them how they feel about things, or, Brittany and Judah is kind of used to everything just because they experienced everything since day one with me. But for the most part, they look really happy. They still get excited when they see people like going, "Oh, that's Lil Rel." They go, "They dance like it."
Okay.
They recognize she was hilarious.
It's hilarious.
And I bring them to premieres and all that stuff.
Man.
So they're used to it in a way. But I'm always fascinated about what it looks like to them because they're growing up in it. It's a little different. We had to work to get where we at. So for the first whatever years before you get fame and money, everything was pretty normal.
Right.
My daughter,
It's
daughter look at a movie set like, "Oh, I'm here." Me and my wife show up to something. My wife got to show up, be on set to get her nails done. Junie expects y'all to know already. I'm here. Wait, Mom, why you just got that? Like, I don't get a robe. Like, she'll say that. Yeah, like, bro, what do you mean? Like, why I don't get a robe? I'm Junie. Like, mine should have my name on it. Like, that's how she be looking at it. Like, I'm the star.
Where's my chair?
Real talk.
Right,
like, I'm
right.
the star. But she's already, like, if they tell my wife her character, she want to learn the character, start doing her little versions and impressions of it. I'm like, sooner or later, like, T really going to start stealing sauce from her. Like, sooner or later, it's going to start getting, it's going to start getting good. But I've dealt with that already. Bringing Junie, she saw my little trailer right away. She like, mommy's trailer's bigger than this. Like, we came on the set. I'm like, yeah, Daddy got to earn his stripes, Right. And we go in the arena. I got some stripes, baby. We come in here.
Shout out to Judy.
Yeah, I got to start from the bottom floor, man. Yeah.
Hilarious.
They got to get you another trailer. I'm like, bro, what your mama got going on, man?
This is what I'm gonna say too. I'm fascinated by how like cool my kids is. Like, they've only flown first class before and all this other stuff, but they're not like braggy or nothing.
No.
And I'm actually shocked about that because this thing about I grew up in the hood, so like
you'd have been bragging.
I've been shitting on y'all ass.
Fuck y'all, I'm taking first class. I was eating nuts. I was doing all types of shit y'all ain't never seen.
I'd have been talking hella
Hot
crazy.
towels and all.
What type of shoes y'all got on, man? Y'all ass out of here. Yeah, I had that.
Y'all ain't got no Delta blankets.
Ain't
nobody got a
They're
damn
so
Delta
nice.
blanket.
They're so nice. Like, I think one time my son was telling me a kid was just talking crazy to him. And I'm like, you ain't brag about none of the shit we did.
Right. Stun on his ass.
You're a good person, man. Because I was like,
God's gonna bless you, boy.
Oh no, he got a job.
Well, you was anointed, ain't you?
He ain't had time for the banner because he had a job. He had shit to.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He on time.
Works,
He ain't dude was wasting his time, bro. You forgot.
He hiring and firing motherfuckers.
You forgot. He military.
You got your own money, fam.
Right. That's the.
He military. He'll handle that
why
at
them problems
$1,700.
Yeah, the problems wasn't nothing to him. He don't even see it. He don't even hear it.
Speaking of your kids being so down to earth, as you navigate and as you keep on climbing, how do you keep your ego in check?
Honestly, it's truly I don't go away from how much I actually love this business. Like, it's still literally a dream come true. And I think as long as you still keep those moments, ego doesn't mean anything because, anything can be taken away from you at any time, And so, like, I honestly, I'm having so much fun doing this shit, man.
Right.
You know,
You seem like it.
Because you look, I went to Crane High School. I'm from out west. It's so many and I had to really sit down with this one day.
I ain't gonna lie,
it was like, damn, it was so many. It's so many niggas that they're just gone.
Right.
They never got a chance to even
do anything,
see anything happen.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Being from the crib, some stuff I normalized a lot of things.
Yes.
Until I started going to therapy, and I'm like, oh, that shit wasn't normal.
That shit is not cool. That shit is not cool.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I wasn't supposed to lose classmates every year since I've been 10. From just, but if that's all you know, you didn't even think that was a.
That's not even trauma. It's not trauma no more.
Yeah, it's not trauma no more. Y'all had rest in peace in all your yearbooks. I'm like, yeah.
Say, yeah.
No, for sure though.
For sure though. Of that shit. It wasn't
real talk. And you know, like you knowing them, and you know them, like you got personal relationships.
They were rough in particular because they had. I think Crane was the first one with the clear book bags. Like you all were.
Well, this thing about it,
wait, y'all had the clear book bags?
Oh yeah,
we didn't have that. We didn't have. I graduated in '98, so it was getting to that. I'm old.
Yeah,
and so like the '90s had this very, very raw gang banging period that was on fucking 10, right? And that's when like you think about from like 92 to like 98, something like that. You know, the '90s dope dealers was at the top of their shit.
I was gonna say the crack up.
It was the schools it was real gang banging, and they'll close the school, put all of us in one school together. So now you got to deal with all of that shit.
Yeah.
It was a real thing. And I think I normalized it because I had to survive the shit. So I couldn't look at it like this is troubling. This was my reality.
This is troubling.
You're just trying to figure out how to go.
Not only is it scary as fuck, it's troubling.
This is reality. Yeah, these niggas about to fucking these vice lords and these GDs in this lunchroom about to send this motherfucker up. And it was nothing you could do about it.
Right.
Did you ever, when you was doing your comedy, has that ever dwindled in? Have you ever just gotten to a point where it's like, damn, bro, I didn't mean to go on stage and get into gang shit, but this shit is just, I gotta find the humor in how scary it is right now.
I had a funny bit I used to do about being a secretary of the vice lords. Because you gotta include all that shit, right? And so like it's always been that. Most of these characters are coming from real places.
Can I look that up?
Yeah, you probably can. This is one of the things I did. I did so much shit. But yeah, I was like, I had to take all the minutes at the meetings. You know what I mean? Well, but that's based off real shit. Like it's bits I do about, you know, when I used to live in this apartment building, you got a bunch of niggas standing in front of the building waiting on somebody with a key. And so you walk in, they all come in with you and shit. You got to sign all these niggas in you don't know. You know what I mean?
What?
It's so, you can't help it because that's just what Chicago is. And these bits are like classic jokes to people.
Real tough.
But I'm like, shit, that's from a real, you know, being on the bus with the high school kids get on the bus and roast you and shit, and you gotta act like you don't hear that shit.
And that's why I said it's hard to do comedy there, because we want it all. You gotta touch on everything. You gotta go there with us, and you gotta make us feel like you'll go anywhere with us with that, like that mentality. Like I want to feel like
it definitely resonates in his comedy. And,
yeah.
Like in
Chicago, they made me feel like a star first. So doing all these tough rooms in Chicago, by the time I got to LA. Everybody was wondering why I was so fucking confident.
Is that when you think you were like received by the industry, like right after Chicago?
Well, around the same time, because I was still in Chicago when I was doing like Comic View and all that shit. And so the respect started getting there. Then when I started doing the festivals and all those things, you know, it wasn't until like, I never saw it, but I got casted on the In Living Color reboot. Handpicked by Keenan, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I'm gonna tell you, that's the one time I ever felt like a rising star NBA player, because when I was doing A Living Color, this was before I had an agent. Literally, I would leave set, go to my hotel, the lobby be full of agents trying to take me to dinner, trying to sign me and shit, because Keenan Ivory Wayans picked me for this A Living Color shit. That didn't even air yet, but they knew if he picked somebody,
There's got to be something too.
You gotta be some. You gotta be some shit.
Yeah.
And so it was fucking. I had a lot of free meals.
He took advantage.
Keep it right.
He took advantage.
Keep it a buck. He like, yeah.
You should have took some. You didn't take no gifts you wasn't supposed to take.
No. Yeah, no.
Shit, that's what I said. You
Right,
ain't
it
take
ain't the
that.
NCAA. So he did. That means yes.
Yeah, he's
that
like,
means
yeah,
yes.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, who are the male mentors for you in the business? I know you said Eddie Murphy was like your guy,
Well,
but
that's somebody I look up to. But like mentors, it's been quite a few of them too. Deray was a mentor definitely, and my big brother Deion Cole. I had so many people I got to show love to. My first manager, Knowledge Beckham, that was out there. He went through the trenches with me.
Solid.
Mary Lindsay, who owned Jokes and Notes Comedy Club. Said the Entertainer. Bill Bellamy. Yeah, Said, you know what's crazy? Said, I used to open for Said. He kicked me off his tour.
Why?
He said, Rel, you're not an opener.
Oh, shit.
What?
I was like, what? I was like, nigga, I need the money.
Right, right. It's a job. Right.
But he said, no, man, nah, dog, you're going to be bigger than that. You got to start kind of walking towards that now. And
he basically was like, you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck
man,
here.
But he kept, and I wasn't even offended by it. I mean, at first it was like, damn, but then I'm like, I understand. And then when I got Carmichael's show, that was my first sitcom. I've never done one before. And at the time, he still had Soul Man. And he had me come on the Soul Man set just to watch how run-throughs happen with multicam. So Sid has always been this cool, like, dude that has always been nice to me. And every time he's told me anything, I would write that shit down. Like, I would have a pad sometimes when I sit down with him. So I would like, okay, I need to note this. Oh, I can put this in my contract. Oh, I can say this. And because he'll give me all these fucking notes and shit. I'm like, damn. Bill Bellamy, you know, great mentor of mine. Sinbad played my dad on my show. And man, that was such a blessing, man, because I learned a lot from Sinbad, man. And like I'm really lucky, man, as far as being able to like have connections with people I never thought I would meet.
Right.
And like Keenan Ivory Wayans is my hero. I irritated that dude to the point he would eat lunch by himself and I didn't give a fuck. So I would eat lunch with him. He's like, dude, you don't want to sit nowhere else? I'm like, nope. I didn't know I was gonna meet you. So here we go.
All right, make him uncomfortable.
I ain't going nowhere. And then so he started telling me these stories every day that was so fucking funny and insightful and shit like that. So like I've been lucky, man, to have some really dope OGs really truly look out for me, man. And it's still people I look up to now. I like somebody like Ryan Reynolds now is somebody I have so much respect for and learned a lot about starring in a film and how you carry yourself and things like that. So but I'm always looking to learn, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. That's definitely important, especially in like the way you working where you're trying to attach yourself to a bunch of different avenues and bring along other people. Like that's important to, you know, like be insightful. And I keep like when you talk about that, it makes me like, you know, it gives me a grounding feeling. Like you're not expecting way too much out of yourself. Like it's like a paced success.
I got a great pace I go at. Even though I'm a really busy person, but I don't force that shit. I'm not gonna force busy. And I know how to make time for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I still like, you know, if I need time to do something, I don't care if it's karaoke. Like I'm gonna do something fun for myself that's outside of just the business, the work. I think people overwork themselves because if they're not working, they don't feel fulfilled. But I think that's fucking insane.
Right. Yeah.
Outside of your kids, do you mentor anybody?
Man, a gang of people, man. And I'm proud of a lot of the cats. Like one of my homies, his name is T. Murphy. He's on the show Woke that's on Hulu.
Yeah.
And just seeing him on this television series and like almost argue with him about how I thought he was a really good actor. He's like, no, bruh, you acting on stage every time I fucking see you. You're an actor. And so to see him killing it on film now, it's like, I told you. My boy Dave Hellum, who's a great writer. And I can name a gang of people because I still constantly mentor. Because that's kind of who I am. Like I'm
you seem like it.
I can't help that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Free
like,
game.
Man, that's just I love doing that shit.
It seemed like comedy groups, period. Like it's like what he's saying. Like it's like a kind of like a fraternity type
Because they kind
atmosphere
of want
where
to
they
protect the
take care of
brand.
each other. Yeah, where they look out for each other. They live
Like
with
we
each
all
other.
the funny motherfuckers over here. Like we can't have y'all be on the stage unfunny
Iman,
motherfuckers.
it is competitive though. That's the thing about it. I may not want to compete, but that don't mean everybody else ain't doing it.
Oh no, I know it's some kick ass comics out there.
Niggas want to fucking just go. But I'm like, bro, like, all right, cool.
Like, is it like that? Y'all like roast each other in the green room? Is that what it is? Y'all just roasting each other?
It was roasting sessions outside, but it also everybody wanted to outdo the motherfucker. Like if you was from out of town, you would have thought we hated other comics.
Oh, for sure.
Cause they'd be like, why the fuck these motherfuckers trying to kill so hard before I go up?
Real talk.
What the fuck are they doing that for?
Oh my mama.
I'm headline. Why these niggas trying to destroy the room before I get up there?
Niggas
but that's how we didn't have no fucking way to take our foot off the pedal. It's like, yo,
it's the funniest night of y'all life. It's gonna be the funniest night of their life there.
That's their style.
What are you working on in the present? Because we always think about it like what we need to do and trying to fix the past or learn from the past. In your present right now, what are you working on to improve?
Well, you know, if we're working on to improve myself, and we start with that, I think therapy has been the biggest blessing that I've ever have done. Crazy. And you know, I suggest, especially my brothers, like go talk to somebody. It don't mean no, fam, please. It's been the greatest thing. Yeah. It has, and let me tell you when I knew and this is a true story. I don't know if I've even told this story on anything, but I was in the height of really successful shit happened. It was the movies was doing good and all this other shit, and I had all this stuff going on. And I was sitting on my stairs in my house I just bought, crying hysterically, and didn't know why. And my assistant showed up to the house because I was running late. I was supposed to be on set. They're like, why are you running late? She saw me just crying. And we talked about me going to therapy before. And I was like, I don't know. I'm good. I'll be all right. But I was like, I didn't know why I was crying. And they ain't never happened to me before. Yeah. And that first therapy session was so mind-blowing. I think I drove around for like an hour and a half after I left her office. Cause I was like, yo, I ain't never talked about that shit. I didn't know what somebody needed to talk about.
Man, yeah. I remember my first time going to therapy. I did the same shit where I was like, damn, that was in there.
They must have had y'all I had breathing exercises and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been the most beautiful thing. And I can say this to y'all, and this is some real shit. Because a lot of what I was going through had something to do with me not really mourning properly my mom's death and just moving the fuck on like we always do as black.
Of course.
And so she asked me, she's like, do you feel like the wrong parent died? Because my dad is still here and they both married and I love them the same. And I was like, I remember snapping her like, what the fuck you say to me? It's like, do you feel like the wrong parent died? What? And I had to answer that shit. And it was a yes. And it wasn't that I hated my father or anything. It's that most natural for boys, you're closer to your mother.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing I was going through was the person I really wanted to take care of that was insanely supportive wasn't here. And my dad was very supportive, but he kind of talked shit about it earlier. Like, okay, we'll see and all that shit. And so like, it's like, damn, so I'm taking care of the person that wasn't as supportive as mama was.
And that was your
mama gave me money for Comic View. Mama did, like, you know what I mean? Like that's, she invested into this. And
right.
You know, it was tough. And then, you know what's crazy? I ended up appreciating my father more because I had to understand the way he thought was just his own negativity, what he couldn't do.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of put that on me, but he still was providing, he was there. So I went from like being angry at this nigga for a little bit and thinking about those moments to really appreciate him. And my grown-up self had to humanize him.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we still sit on our kid emotions with people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, nigga, you grown now. You don't have to have that same, like stand up for little you. Stand up for little you. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get to that point, man, we dive into so many things, and therapy has just been fucking beautiful, man. I love it. I go every fucking Tuesday. If it's on Zoom, if it's there, every Tuesday I'm talking to her.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's
Thank you
crazy.
so much for sharing that, man. I
Shamina
appreciate
Johnson.
that. Yeah, Shamina Johnson.
I'll never forget that name. That is the most comforting name ever. Like, if I read that on a piece of paper, no bullshit,
That's
I
what
would
happened.
think
That's
that
what
is
happened.
I could tell her anything.
That's what
And
happened.
let me get it right. She does have a calming delivery, right? Like I like.
No, I'm just talking about strictly her name
I know.
and what it's a very inviting name.
I'm saying it goes with it. Like literally, sometimes I'll say some shit to her and she'll stop. Even if she's checking me, it don't sound bad. She go, you know what kills me, Rel? I love you.
Yes, that's her. I knew it.
You know, it's like,
And if
like
she hit you with a, I'm disappointed. You hurt.
you know something. Like when she looks away from me.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know something, Rel? This kills me about you.
Oh,
you know, but I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That
All
sound
these
like
hours,
an auntie.
man, all this
Yeah,
money,
that sound
I
like an
ain't know
auntie. You know damn well you know better.
Word. Hey, we got this cool part of the show, man. We do every time we give the floor to the fans. The fans always have these like burning questions that they ask on Twitter, but we don't fucking respond to the shit. So we gonna go ahead and give a fan they chance to ask their burning question. Big brother, hit me.
Today's fan question comes from @BigVince on IG.
Big Vince.
Question is, I've been pursuing my passion with the hopes of turning it into a full-time career. Things were going well lately, but I've been feeling burnt out. Have you ever had a moment like that?
I think you have several moments where you feel burnt out, especially for new experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a couple of times in the beginning where I was like, I'll never forget when Bad Boys of Comedy first came out, when Diddy was doing Bad Boys of Comedy, the first season, and I didn't get picked. And I couldn't believe I wasn't picked. I thought I was the funniest dude in Chicago. They picked all these other comics in Chicago. I remember showing up to the comedy club, and that's when Diddy used to give everybody Sean John. So all these niggas got their Sean John jogging suits on they didn't got, and they all bragging and shit.
Velour suits.
I'm like losing my fucking mind. Like it felt like the Twilight Zone. I had to like lead the club. And I remember just almost yelling at God that night, like, why the fuck am I doing this? I'm funnier than the rest of these people. How they get picked over me? I'm doing this shit the right way. I work out every day. And I just had this moment where I just was like, just yelling. And then I was so mad, I went to sleep. But when I went to sleep, this is just real talk. It felt calming. I almost feel like God let me vent and gave me a hug.
Nigga went to sleep.
And I woke up the next morning, true story, with like 2 huge emails from a festival I didn't even submit for, because I'm like, I didn't have the money the year to do it, and they picked me anyway as a new face. And then this whole other thing to do with NBC.
That's fire.
And it was so almost eerie in a dope way where I'm like,
should I just make that happen? Yeah. Should I yell at God all the time?
But you know what it is?
He like, nah, I ain't gonna do that.
Well, hold on. Maybe so. You know, if like people put God in a corny place, but if God is God, like, how God gonna get irritated about me complaining and
not
being
at
mad?
all. Not
you
at
know
all.
what I mean? It's just what it is, right? It's like
I used to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm your
human.
father. That's what it is. I'm human. And so, like, I think if you acknowledge when you're hurt and burnt out, and sometimes out loud, just say what it is, then you can calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me acknowledge it.
Articulate.
It's gonna happen. Like, even with the movie I'm doing now, it's been moments, and this is the biggest budgeted movie I've worked on so far, but it's been some crazy moments. And I've had to like calm myself down, say what I say, let it out, and then chill, you know? And so like, you know, it's your passion. It's gonna burn you out sometimes, but don't quit. But acknowledge that it is. It's okay to step back for a second.
I've had my my run in, I'd say it wasn't pressure of the actual job. I think it was, my whole drive of becoming rich was, I need to do this because there's so many people that need so many things, and it's going to help me to help everybody and do all this shit. And I got to the point where I'm like, I'll never forget one time I had like budgeted, I was trying to budget myself a certain amount of money for the month to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And like 2 weeks into it, I had burned it by trying to help so many people because everybody needed something at the moment, and everybody was like hitting me with these like long ass texts like, I don't want to ask you, this the last thing I want to have to do. Bro, I'm not counting your pockets. You know it's not like that. It was just all these excuses, but it was like, I started knowing so much. I took a step back and I'm like, why do I know all these things about people? Like, I know your dirt. You know what I'm saying? You gamble and it's fucked up. Like, you against the wall. I know when you owe somebody in the street and they looking for you. I know when, you know what I'm saying? You do. I was like, I don't want this, bro. I didn't ask for this. Like, I just wanted to make enough so my mama could have the house that she always looking at HGTV. She wanted the fucking house. My dad wanted the old school. I'm like, me and my brother, shit, I always just wanted sort of like a Ninja Turtle cave for us. Like, nigga, I don't really want much. I'm like, but y'all tripping. Like, I shouldn't know this much about y'all. I shouldn't even know that. Like, my whole life I looked up to you and now you asking me for money. Like, it was weird. Like, I had this moment where I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if age ever mattered. Like, age went out the window to me because I'm like, money is the only thing that matters to people. Like, it ain't even age no more. Like, nobody's even thinking about this. Like, yo, this dude is 26. He don't know shit from shit. If I remember asking my dad one day about like what I should do about some money. And he was like, I ain't never had that amount. I can't really give you no advice, son. Like, but he like sort of laughed it off, but he was being real. Like, my nigga, I don't know. Like,
man, he don't want to steer you wrong.
Yeah, he like, gee, I don't know. I might have made a hiccup by now. He like, you been doing pretty good with your decisions. Like, whatever you learned and whatever you feel in your heart, do it. But he like, you know what I'm saying? You done went further than I went. You know what I'm saying? So he like, you got to sort of just navigate through this. I'm going to support you in whatever you do. But he was just like, I don't have the answers for you like I had for you when you was in my pocket at 13. You know, at 13, if I came to my pop with that frustration, he had me. But it was like, even in that, I'm like damn near hyperventilating. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what am I doing this for, bro? What am I going to work for? I feel like my whole check, I'm over here working, going to workouts, waking up from surgery by myself, and I come home to a house full of motherfuckers enjoying what I just worked for. And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? I just had this moment where I was just like, yo, like I was bugged the fuck out. So if there was ever a breakdown, I believe I called you during that breakdown. Yeah. I remember I was just like tweaking. I'm like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what I'm like. Am I doing this? Like, is this about loving basketball anymore? Like, nah. I'm like, yeah, is this about me really putting this ball in the hoop anymore, dog? I'm tweaking. Like, and I had this moment and I had to like bring it back to myself, like, and really focus. Like, nah, that championship feeling is what you wanted. Like, you know, you start really reeling yourself back in. Like you said, you had that deep breath. You wake up in the morning and you start feeling a little better. But I think that was the first time that I had ever
like acceptance. Like
I just accepted that. I finally accepted that people are going to be who they're going to be. They're going to live their life, and I can't judge it. Like, and I can say no. You know what I'm saying? And I can say no without not, like, me saying no was no longer because like I felt like you're gonna be mad at me. I was saying no because it's like, bro, at some point I'm gonna stop working. You got to figure it out, or you really gonna die out here, bro. Like, if I do this for y'all for too long, like
after a certain point,
it's like after 3 times of being your safety net, G, I gotta kind of let you know what it feel like to have back against concrete. Like, you gotta hit the floor. Like, G, I had to hit the floor. Like, I definitely didn't have no safety net.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Your ass didn't either.
When you learn to say no, I think honestly too, that's one of the blessings of me like gaining the height of my success, grown as fuck. Because by the time, you know, they can get a couple million, you like, fuck y'all, no. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. I don't have to.
You're an adult. What have you been doing before I got this shit?
Real talk.
Right.
Real talk. It's like, if I didn't get this, what you was gonna be on?
What would you be doing?
What would you be like, fam? Like, yeah, there are a lot of you like, you my last option. No, I'm not.
I'm actually the first call.
Right.
I'm actually the first call, but it's cool.
That's called a buffer.
I think I got better with like when people stopped lying. I think people got to the point where they could just ask me straight up and like I'd rather you say, "Hey man, can you just buy me this car?" rather than be like, "Yo, I can get you the money back and woo." Once you do that, now it's fucking up your character trait with me. Like now I look at you like your character sucks, bro. Because that would drive me insane that somebody bought me a car and I never paid my debt. I couldn't pay the debt on time. It's like people always be like, man, black people don't get to do woo-woo. It's like, bro, would you give black people credit on your car? You know what I'm saying? Would you give the like? And so I be doing that where I'm like, nah, I'm going to give you credit. Like, yeah, I'm going to give him a credit. Let's see if he pay it back. This man here be like, bro, do not send him. I just told you not to send that person that money. I just told you not to do it. And I do it because it's like, now it's just like I just realized I'm going to give it to you and I'm going to rate your character trait. Because whatever it is, unless you're in a position like me and you're asking me for money, whatever that money is, I'm sure that I've put myself in a position now where I could work to make that back. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm looking at that comfort and saying, am I investing in this person or am I realizing that this person doesn't know how to get it on their own? So I would have to put them in a position where they can't lose. Because I've noticed,
and that's limited too, man. Mm-hmm. Like
it is. People think you can snap your fingers. You can't.
And I give out opportunities. If you don't take advantage of, I'm not doing it again. Like once you show me that you.
Why you look at the camera like that? It feel like
that's a Chicago shit.
It's like, no, nigga, I got you the audition. Right. You ain't show the fuck up. Cool. Right. You don't want to do this then. Don't call me no more.
Real talk. Real talk. No, real talk. Because you can't make somebody want the job. I can't make you want it. I can't hop in your body and do the work for you. Can't put the enthusiasm into it. Yeah, you gotta want it.
You take your brand and your name serious. And it's like, I'd rather keep my brand and my name to speak up for my babies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to waste it on you, nigga. Like,
right.
And so like, you know, with me, and that's why the people I do appreciate that have taken advantage of those opportunities and just been times 10, I'm always so happy for them. Like, man, you took that and ran with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but I don't feel bad about any of that no more, man, because I'm like, nah, like, you know, because once again, you know, they hit you with it. Once again, you know way too many people business.
Yeah.
People that help raise you, like, nigga, you was on drugs.
Before we get off that topic, I know me coming from the athletic space, him being in the comedic space, for you, because I don't be liking to say that, but Ahrii, like, I had to beg this nigga to get off the 9-to-5 train. My nigga kept a job all the time, wanted to do jobs. I come bother him at work, be embarrassing him and shit. Like, nigga don't like that.
I used to work for Pace.
Yeah, my nigga did Target, Pace. Like, he always felt like he was finna keep a job. He ain't gonna leave this job till he got another job. Did you ever feel like, fuck this shit? Like,
yeah. Probably at every job I worked at, I was like, fuck it. Like, probably the worst though is probably I worked for the Chicago Sports Service. That's the seat vendors for the Bears games back at Soldier Field.
I remember that.
It was back in like 2006, but I did it for like two summers, and then I was just like, yo, fuck this.
Yo, I forgot. That's where the tickets came from.
Yeah, we used to just get a discount, but they were some bullshit tickets.
Yeah, bullshit or not, nigga. I didn't know nothing but
we were horrible. Cheap seats. Horrible. And it was so cold.
It was cold as fuck.
But yeah, like the way I overcame it was by quitting and throwing my name tag down and doing the whole, you know, walk off thing.
That was your first. Yeah, that was your first.
Yeah, I did the whole fuck this shit.
He got it off. Yeah, we never got to do it.
But I'm not proud of it just because, you know, it's not like, to me now it looks childish.
No, be proud of it, dog. That shit is like a movie.
And whatever.
When I just feel like documentary on it, you're gonna be proud of it.
A documentary on my.
Not a documentary. I'm gonna shoot a biography on your life. Man, I appreciate you joining us, dog. I don't want to hold you too long, bro. Don't worry. In post, I'm going to get it to where they could press a button. I like the crowd sounds and shit. So I
might give you some of that.
Post-production.
What's the Bulls beat?
Hey, before we go, my
anything
dog,
you want to promote?
An unbelievable guest. Anything you want to promote? I know you like to keep it cool with your modest ass.
It ain't that. It's just it's a few things coming out. I got a
look. Here it go.
Here it go. Animation movie coming out in August called Luck. I did Whoopi Goldberg, and then
Boy, don't you ever casually throw Whoopi Goldberg out there like, yeah, I did that.
That's Whoopi the homie. That's
I could do what the hell I want to.
You ain't gonna casually just unravel Whoopi Goldberg. I love Whoopi.
Whoopi's great. It's gonna be a dope movie. It's gonna be on Apple Plus, and then on the Disney Channel, I have a cartoon called Eureka that comes out in June. I'm really excited about that. I play the dad on. It's really cool to hear this black dad voice from a Disney cartoon.
Our voiceover's the new thing. That's the new thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to enter that space, man. I don't know who the voiceover people are, man, but if you could meet outside my hotel lobby, how they was trying to sign me for the voiceover deal.
Rel, thanks again, man. We appreciate you coming through.
Real talk.
Taking out the time, spilling your guts out here, man. Good luck with
every. I appreciate you, brothers, man. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Yeah,
no problem, man.
Good
luck to you,
dog.
man. Peace.
If you ever need me, you know to reach out. If you're now tuning in, Iman amongst men. Oh shit! I'm telling you, it's starting to stick, Ari.
It's starting to stick.
Hey, Ari don't like it. I think it's starting to click. Yeah, if you're now tuning in, it's Iman amongst men.